Hi everyone, Nicholas Buffett here from Sunny Cyprus and welcome to this tutorial. This is for the Cambridge IGCSE, ICT 0417 or the 0983 course. The paper is June 2024, paper 2, and the variation is 2-2. This is the third and final tutorial for this examination paper, and this tutorial focuses on presentation, which is PowerPoint, and chart creation. For the other two components, which is word processing and databases, you can find links to those tutorials in the description of this video tutorial. So let's get started with the presentation. So 5, presentation. You're going to create a short presentation. All slides must have a consistent layout and formatting. Create a presentation of 6 slides using the file J2422study.rtf. All slides must display a title and bulleted list. So let's go and do that now. I'm going to close Access. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to open my folder with all my files inside. Right click, New, PowerPoint presentation. Enter. There we go. And now I'm going to go to New Slide, Slides from Layout. I'm going to go to my folder where I have everything inside. And I want to open up J2422 Study, the RTF. There it is there, double click. And this should give me 6 slides, correct, with the title and bullets for every slide. Perfect. All slides must display, so we've done that. Number 19, use the master slide to display only the following features. A thick black 3 to 4 point wide horizontal line across the full width of the slide. Position this line above the slide titles, about 3 centimeters from the top. Make sure the line does not overlap any slide data. Above the line, enter the text organic crop farming in a 32-point black font aligned to the top right of the slide. Make sure the text does not wrap or overlap the line. Automatic slide numbers on the top left. Your name, center number, and candidate number. It doesn't say where to put your name, center, and candidate. Make sure that master slide items appear in the same position on every slide. No items overlap any slide. Okay, let's go to the PowerPoint. Okay, so first step, I want to open up my slide master. So I'm going to go to View, Slide Master. Now, I need to make sure on the left-hand side, I go all the way to the very top slide. This is the master slide of this slide layout. So this is a layout of different slides. And this is the first one, the parent, let's say. So any changes you make here will affect every single slide underneath here, all the child slides. So that's the one I need to select first of all. Now I want to create a 3 to 4 point thick horizontal line above the first titles, and I don't want any overlapping. And remember, we said we need in the view to make sure we've got this ruler selected at the top. That really helps so I can see my rulers. I need my 3 to 4 points line. So if I go to Insert, I'm now going to go to Shapes. I'm going to choose a line. I'm going to place it. So this is around about 1, 2, 3 centimeters. So round about here, that's where 3 centimeters are. I'm just going to click and draw a line here. Now, to make it snap into place, while you've got your mouse button pressed and you're drawing your line, if you hold the Shift button down, it will snap at 45-degree angle. So I know I've got a straight line. When I get to the end, I let go of the mouse button first, and then I can let go of the Shift button. Now, I need to make all of these things go underneath the line. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make that a bit smaller and drag this object down. Let's just have a quick look at that now. View normal, because it's good to keep going backwards. There we go. So we can see I've got that thick line on top of all of those titles. Go to View, Slide Master. I'm going to click on that line, go to the top, that one there, double click on that line, and I'm going to make sure that that line is 3 to 4 points weight. So I'm going to make it 3. It doesn't say the color, so I'm just going to make sure it's black because it's going to print. So make that weight 3. It's going to print in black and white anyway. Position this line above the slide. Make sure the line does not overlap any slide data. In fact, what I'm just going to move this object a little bit down so it's not touching the line at all. Good. And then enter the text, organic crop farming in 32-point black font aligned to the top right. So I'm going to add up here above the line, insert the text box, draw my text box, paste my text there. Let's make that a bit bigger, align it to the right, make it 32 points. There we go. And I'm just going to drag that so it looks nice and neat there. Okay, so even that would do there. So it's in line with everything else. That's nice. Okay, but if you want to make sure, just drag it over here because it wants it right aligned. There we go. 32 point black font aligned to the top right side. Make sure the text does not wrap or overlap the line. Okay. Automatic slide numbers on the top left. So again, I'm going to add another insert text box. I could put slide number, but I don't want to do that. Remember, I don't use these placeholders down here. I get rid of them. They do sometimes cause problems. So I just go to insert. Right, so I'm just going to take my text box, just draw that over here. It says in the top left. I'm going to put that roughly the same place as that. And from the insert, I can now put my slide number. There it is there. And if I just have a quick view normal, there we go. So top left, top right, and it wants automatic slide number, your name, center number, and candidate number. So I'm just going to put that at the bottom. It doesn't say where, does it? Right, overline, automatic slide on the top left, your name, center number, and candidate number. Okay, so I'm just going to put that at the bottom. View, slide master. You can see I'm doing this for the first time myself. Go to the top, select that one, insert, text box. I'm just going to put this bottom left. Okay, make sure that, okay, so I've done that. If I just go to view normal, there you go. All the slides have that. Perfect. Let's jump over here. 20. Use the data from J242 area.csv to create a vertical bar chart. This must compare the size of organic farmland by region for only the years 2013 and 23. Display with labels, the regions of the category axis, the values on the value axis, a legend showing the years. Label the chart with a chart title of that, value axis title that. Display only the data values above each bar. Format all the data labels to display one decimal place. Format the value axis scale to display 0 minimum, 42 maximum, increment of 7. And then we place our chart. That's number 20 in global. We'll get to that after. So let's go and create the chart. Okay, so let's jump over to our presentation. What we're going to do, we're going to open up our file. We're going to go to open the area, the CSV, J2422 area, double click on that. Let's have a look at the data that we've got here. So I'm just going to select these and double click between two columns just to spread everything out. Okay, oops, so do that. All right, now straight away, I can see what they're doing here. You can see this is the title region and these are the regions. And then you've got the years here. So what's going to happen straight away? As soon as I select this, I go to insert and I create a new chart. I'm just going to create a random chart. You can see region is seen as a category and it's plotting the years 2013, 15. I don't want region to be included. So this is what I would say when creating charts. I've got an excellent tutorial on creating charts, particularly for the exam. So go look at my playlist in Excel. There's a tutorial on creating charts there. The trick is always get rid of the top left corner. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Now I can select my data, and because there's no title here, it's going to see these as category labels. So if I now go to insert, I create a chart. There we go. And you can see now that at the bottom here in the legend, you've got the legend entry 2013 all the way to 23. Now I only want for 13 and 23, so I'm going to right click. I'm going to move to select data. And I'm going to untick all the ones that I don't want. So I'm only going to leave 2013 and 2023. Click OK. There we go. Now, the next thing it says was display with labels, the regions on the category axis. Well, here are the regions, Africa, Asia, Europe, so on and so forth. So those are my labels. The values on that value axis. So here is the values on my value axis here. And a legend showing the years. And my legend, there is my legend showing the years, 2013, 2023. So that's okay. It doesn't say where the legend should be. yet. All right, label the chart with a chart title of regional distribution for organic farmland. So there's my chart title. If I double click on that, and then the value axis, million hectares. So the value axis, I need to add the axis title. So if I click on the axis titles here, this is my value axis. It wants million hectares, but it doesn't say anything for my category axis. Okay, so I'm just going to select this one here and delete it because it doesn't want a category axis label. And what I can see, no. Then display only the data values above each bar. Format all data labels to display one decimal place. So the next step is I want to add decimal places. So even without this properties area open, if I go to add, I'm going to add data labels. And as soon as I add data labels, you can see I get a whole load of decimal places. So I'm going to click on the arrow next to decimal labels, more options. Now, it's selected one of the categories now. I'm in the more options, so you get these options down here for the background. So I'm going to go to the chart, number, and I want this category to be a number, and I want one decimal place. Press enter. There you go. These ones are now one decimal place. I can now click away, select this category, okay, and there we go. We're in this area here. We want number, and we're going to make that number, and we want that also one decimal place. Press enter. So there you go. My category labels, my data labels at the top of each bar with one decimal place. Format that value axis scale to display 0 minimum, 42 maximum, 7 increment. So to do that, I'm going to click to select my axis, my value axis. Automatic, because the properties are open, I can see them here. But if they weren't open, I can right click on that, format axis. Here we go. The minimum is 0, the maximum should be 42, and major increments should be 7. Click away. And there we go, from 0 to 42 with increments of 7. Now we want to place the chart to the left of the bullets on the slide with the global statistics. So I'm going to right click, copy, go to my PowerPoint. I'm going to go to global statistics, and I want it to the left. So that means I'm going to squish this over here, paste my chart there. I'm going to make it as big as I can without overlapping anything. I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller and just bring that over here. Make sure everything is visible. Make my chart just a little bit bigger. There we go. That makes my chart visible. It's on the left. Nothing is overlapping. It says no words are split. So I don't have any splitting of the words like this, for example. If I was to do that, the word the now is split. All data and labels are fully visible. The chart and its contents do not overlap any slide items. They don't. I was very careful with that. Then add the following text, it says. So if we just jump over here again, number 25, add the following text as presenter speaker notes to the slide with the global statistics. So we're going to take that, Control C. Let's jump back. Now in PowerPoint at the bottom, it says here, click to add notes. You can click in here and just paste. These are the presenter notes, okay? And you can actually make that bit bigger if you want more text. Then it says, save the presentation, print all the slides in portrait orientation with 6 slides to the page. Does it not want the other one on its own? Ah, yes, it does. Number 25. Print only the slide as presenter speaker notes. And then 6 slides a page. So, number 25, I'm going to go with this slide selected, file print. This is a long paper. Paper 2s are just so exhausting. You choose your printer. Instead of all slides, I just want the current slide because I only want to print this one. And I don't want full page. I want notes page. So that's going to give me my page here. And these are my presenter notes. So you're going to print that one. You press print with your appropriate printer selected. And then once you've done that, you're going to go back to file print. This is for number 26. And this time you're going to print all slides. You don't want the notes page. You want 6 slides to a page. And you click print here, and that's your printout. Always check that your printouts are correct before you print. And then we can go back. We have finished. Wow, paper 2 is definitely exhausting. But this particular paper was not that bad. There was a lot to do. I think the chart was a little bit tricky with the decimal values. The database and the labels, again, this was a little bit tricky. We had to adjust the page margins to make it fit. As also we had to do in the report that we created, and we needed to make sure it was on 2 pages, we adjusted the height of the row of the fields so that it fits more rows on 1 page to make it fit 2 pages instead of 3. So there are these little details which really dig deep into your understanding of how you're setting things up, like things like reports, like labels. Yeah, you're probably, some of you are sitting the paper quite soon after I post this one. So good luck with your exams if you're taking your exam soon. If you did find this tutorial useful, if you did learn something new, again, you know the drill. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And here's a new one. Make sure you share. Share with other students these tutorials to help them as well with their IGCSE results. Okay. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.